universe, and in many cases the secrets of the universe itself. And we also cover a couple of other things like professional networking and working with nonprofits and giving back to the world at the same time that the world is giving to you. So there's many things that we talk about on the show, and today we are have as our guest David Hoops, or David
Hoops is right. No, you got
David
it.
Hoops.
Yep,
Okay. All right.
Good
We had
guess.
some debate on how you had the pronunciation of the last name. But
My wife and I debated daily.
Great. So it always is a fun source of conversation. So David, definitely welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And before we get going full bore on the show, we want to give a shout out for our sponsors that make this whole thing possible. We have Planet Beach on 59th Avenue in Berend in Glendale, Arizona, and a little bit further down the street on 59th Avenue and approximately Glendale, we have Glendale Flowers. So we appreciate our sponsors that sponsor the show and make it all possible. And one of the people who also makes things possible for the social universe, we are bringing David on the show because in the last month he has given, he's actually does a lot of professional networking with us, and he and his company MMA Systems have given about $40,000 worth of referrals that actually closed in the last month, which has got to be a record somewhere for referral partners, at least on the local level. And so we want to promote MMA Systems to anybody out there who is looking for a good referral partner. Go to www.mmasystems.net. Okay, I almost said .com. Go to .net.
I would have corrected you.
All right, very good. But they also have a great product that is wonderful for us to refer as well. I can't say that we've closed $40,000 worth of business, but we probably have a good $200,000 in the pipeline. Now we got to go and get it all closed.
There
right?
we go. That's right.
So, but David, tell us a little bit about MMA Systems, and besides mixed martial arts, tell us a little bit about how MMA Systems came to be.
Oh, you're right. It does not stand for mixed martial arts, but MMA Systems is an IT and computer support company that specializes in providing IT and computer support to small and medium businesses. Been in the business for it's been around for about 3 years or so. Rusty McCurdy, who founded the company, had a medical background in doing IT support and that for the medical industry, and recognized that small and medium businesses may not have the budget to have a full-time IT person on staff, but still wanted to have the advantages and professionalism that a true IT professional can bring to the table. And so he left that industry and started his own business, and MMA Systems, doing IT and computer support. And we do some things pretty unique in the industry that most companies don't do, having a live help desk where you call in and get somebody on the phone right when you call versus leaving voicemails or sending an email and hoping somebody calls you back. So a couple of things that really set us apart from other companies in the industry.
Definitely so. And I mean, here's a good example. We, in my effort to refer back, I went to a large company that had, you would recognize the name if we threw it out there, but we don't have their permission to discuss the third party. So let's just say they have 13 locations, and but nationwide there's many locations. But this particular owner of the franchise has 13 locations, and I had just been in a big discussion with them about how they don't like contracts. They like to just do things on a month-to-month basis, and I had told David to come on down and to the appointment I was in and meet with them, because I saw it brewing that it would be a great referral for MMA Systems. David walked through the door, and I was able to say, you know what, you know how you don't like contracts? These guys don't lock you into long-term contracts. Now they can if you want to.
Yeah, that's a great point. When you're looking to hire an IT professional, there's a lot of fear involved. Is this person really able to do what we're asking them to do or what they need to be done? And having a comfort level of knowing you're not signing a long-term contract gives you some real peace of mind. And that's one thing we want to do for our customers, is give them peace of mind that we know what we're doing and we're there to help them.
That's a big deal, because literally we were looking at 3-year contracts in discussion on the things that I was talking about. And so in the technology industry, 3 to 5 year contracts are very normal. And so to be able to have an IT company that can come in and just be working on a month-to-month basis, and even essentially on a piece rate basis. You just whenever you need somebody, you give them a call, and it's a great way to be able to learn to trust a company. What's kind of interesting is this particular company, they were making fun of themselves and saying, well, you know, even though we demand month to month, we probably would be wise, because we're very loyal to the people that do give us month-to-month agreements, and you know, our 90% of the month-to-month agreements we've stayed with for over 3 years. So we might as well have been in 3-year contracts, but they just like to have that open-ended option, and it keeps everybody. They feel like it keeps everybody honest, and every month they have to please them as a customer. And that's actually the view that MMA Systems takes, is that if they're only going to get use from you if you have a need and you trust that you're going to come down and do a great job, then it keeps that whole system working in the favor of the customer. And so obviously if a company designs it that way, that means that they have the customer in mind, and that's why I love referring MMA Systems.
Well, we definitely want to make sure that the customer comes first, and that any funds that they do spend with us, they get to use and they're not losing it. So if a customer does decide they want to have more of a set budget and pay a certain amount every month, they want to pay maybe for 2 or 3 hours of support use every month, we can use, say they use 1 month, they use 2 hours. We'll take that 3rd hour and we'll roll it over to the next month. So any money they put in, they're never losing it, which I think is a big advantage and something to really make sure our customers are number one in our eyes.
Definitely so. Now, we probably should do some justice to the actual product that you provide to kind of set up why you need an IT guy. A lot of people wonder, well, why do I need an IT guy? And they picture, you know, setting up a server, and maybe they need an IT guy when they set up the server, and then, of course, from that point out, computers are supposed to function 100% perfectly from then on out, and business owners somehow think that that's going to be the case until they're ground to a halt by something small. Maybe a virus comes in, maybe they don't realize that their modems aren't configured properly. Maybe they purchased the wrong modems because they didn't consult an IT guy to begin with. It doesn't support QoS, which is quality of service for if they're doing VoIP cloud with their phone systems. You just never know what the situation is, and so sometimes, in fact almost all the time, a good IT guy to be on call can save you a lot of money in the hardware purchases that you make, and more importantly, in making the right decisions where everything runs smoothly, so you're not down for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And anybody who's listening and owns a business can probably pretty well calculate on an hourly basis how much they make per hour gross, and if their company is down and brought to a halt, then that's how much money they lose, and you compare that to their IT guy, and it almost always pays off. So in many cases, just like David is saying, if you it can save you a little bit of money by actually entering into an agreement. It's just that they're willing to let you kind of test them out and gain that trust that you would probably want in the learning about your IT guy over time.
Right, we want the opportunity to prove ourselves. And there's some real advantages to having a true IT professional that you can consult with to understand what system requirements I need to get in a server or in additional hardware that's going to meet the software requirements that your system has. And so having somebody that you can call and just ask questions to is a real big advantage.
Absolutely. Now, you guys do have a couple of favorite industry verticals that you like to work in, and we're going to talk about those after the break. But we also wanted to hear from you. What are some of the favorite services that people do call you in for when they have you on call? What are some of the reasons that people give you a call to come in?
You know, it can be anything from a networking issue to printer not working to having your entire system go down. But one of the nice things that we offer is system monitoring, and be able to maintain your system and understand what's going on a daily and every 15 minutes, making sure that your backups are really happening. And you'd be surprised how many people say they're doing backups, and we go in and look at it, and the backup hasn't been done for a week or a month or more. And that can be pretty devastating to a company if your system crashes and you don't have anything backed up for the last week or month or even longer. And so having a system monitoring tool in place that we're looking at on a daily basis at our help desk, and can call and tell you if there's any issues, or any concerns going on, or if there's any hacker alerts, or your antivirus isn't updated. A whole host of things we can check and make sure and help you to be preventative and proactive to computer issues that could come up versus taking care of a problem after it's happened.
You know, and you think that that's not a big deal at first, but it happened to us. We are one, and we actually did the system backup, everything like it should. I think it was a 4-day, 2-day, and 24-hour backup. So when our system went down and all the hard drives got wiped out, we had no qualms. We're like, no problem, just bring it right back up. But what they had done is the backup system, I don't know why or how it happened, but they actually had overwritten both the 2, 3, and 4-day backups. And so we were left with nothing. There were some tears shed along those lines. So anyway, these are some very important things that on the outset, it's a little bit like insurance. You know, you don't want to pay that insurance, but when that devastation comes, oh my goodness, you're so glad you did.
Well, there's something to be said about peace of mind and having that knowledge that everything is taken care of and that you're going to be protected.
Absolutely. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about a couple of specific industries that the MMA Systems works with and is very well qualified for, both from the standpoint of providing services and being great referral partners. So we look forward to tuning in after the break.